Hi, I'm Alex Archibald. I've been buying and selling antiques since I was a kid. Over the years, generations of our family have gotten involved in the business, and I'll search just about anywhere I can to find hidden treasures both big and small. I never know what I'll turn up next. It's about exploring new places, seeing new sights, and having fun. And even though sometimes I get over my head, we try and make things a little better along the way. This is Curiosity. Good morning, guys, and welcome to today's episode. This morning is the day of the Model T races in Bruderheim, Alberta. We're going to go see my friend Matt, who is also a collector of many things. We've featured him on a couple episodes in the past, and he has a Hot Speed Shop and his YouTube channel, Strong's Garage, if you want to check him out. The car we're going to take out there this morning is the 1959 Lancia, if you're Italian, Appia Zagato, which was also a former race car. I was just topping up the oil on it and making sure everything's good to go. My son Steven's going to come with me this morning. We're going to gear up and go. Everything works on the car except the gas gauge. That is a whole other story. So we're going to fill up with gas, make sure we got a full tank, and hit the road. So follow along on today's adventure while we go hit the races and see what kind of cars show up and see who wins. Let's go. Here we are in the town of Bruderheim. And my friend Matt's shop is just down the way. Hey, Steven, congratulations, by the way.
Oh?
You're the first human being to ever sleep in a Zagato race car.
Think so?
He had like no sleep last night. He was up till 4 in the morning and yet still got up with Dad today. But look, we're gonna see cars. We're already seeing cars. That is Jim's Lincoln convertible. I think it's a 41 or 2, something like that. And a nice Model T next to it. Fender skirt needs a little bit of TLC, but nice to see them in kind of original shape and still running. Continental convertible. Oh, look, the keys are still in it. That's how you know you're in a small town, when you go inside to eat something and you leave your keys in. And look, that's a Studebaker. I thought Model T, but no, that's an old Studebaker. I love the original patina on these cars. Little wicker basket there. This reminds me of Archie's Jalopy. You know, from the old 60s Archie comics?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it has that kind of look to it, except his was red, right? You paint this thing red. There's a nice little detail on the front. It's got the old Canada Parks pass on it from 1930. Those are pretty neat. Well, you ready for some pancakes?
Yep.
All right. Pancake breakfast put on by the fire hall at the Seniors Lodge here. We're gonna grab a bite to eat and then off to the races. We got here early. In fact, so early that we are one of very few cars in the parking lot, but that's gonna change very soon as cars are starting to pull in and there's vendors starting to get set up with antiques and food trucks are pulling in. But I do see a few interesting vehicles I've not seen before, including a 1920s looking Standard Oil tanker truck. Let's go check that out and see what's going on. If you've ever seen an Esso gas station, ESSO, they're all over the place here in Canada, I imagine elsewhere too. The SO actually stands for Standard Oil, SO, Standard Oil. And this is a early replica of a Standard Oil, I mean, it's a real truck. It's a real tanker truck. I don't know if it was originally a Standard Oil truck, but how cool is this? They've got all the proper graphics on it. They did a fantastic job, red, white, and blue. What a fun thing. You just don't see people going to the effort to restore such a big vehicle like this because, gosh, it would be so much work to do. But you could go on a pretty long trip because you wouldn't run out of gas. Hey, Steven? Just run a hose from that tank right into your truck. You could drive all the way around the world practically. But how cool is that? What a nifty idea. And parked right by it, you got this great early Harley Davidson with the vintage saddlebags on there, and it's got a little bit of accessories. It's dolled up a little bit. Another early Harley. This is more of a track bike. Watch where I step. Yeah, they'll have to watch where they step too. It's right by a gopher hole. Don't want to put your kickstand in that. This is a vintage racer. Like I don't know if this would have been flat track or hill climber, I think, because it's got the long chain on it. Really, really neat bike. The one thing the Model T races does is it promotes a lot of patina, a lot of bikes that are very original, like this Indian, which looks to be an original paint bike. And he's got a cowhide saddle, lucky gold ring on the keychain there, and all these great stickers on it. Just a cool looking machine. You know, it's phenomenal that thing's still riding down the road as it is, but if you got good rubber on it and mechanically you're fine, hey, why the heck not? So some of the race cars are lining up as they're getting them ready. Smeltzer insurance. And this is what you get. That's an old aircraft seat. That's what they used to do. Actually, a few of these look like they're old airplane seats. Aluminum, lightweight. You just bolt it down and off you go. This is essentially just a chassis with an engine and a radiator. That's the bare bones right there. Talk about getting it lightweight. And this was the El Cortez special. And he's got himself a little seat pad there because, yep, bumping around a dirt track on a solid metal seat would not be very comfy. You got the old school fire extinguisher there. I wonder if he's got it filled with anything. If they do need support, they've got the old tow truck down there, right over there. But it looks like a good lineup. There's more cars here than there were last year. I haven't seen this one, this orange number 9 car, in memory of Clifford Proctor. Oh, I see. So he raced this car, but he passed away. Oh gosh, I didn't know he passed on. I remember seeing him go around the track in this last year. He was actually always sort of a front runner. Oh, that's sad. But it's nice that the family's got the car out in his memory, and they made this great little decal of him waving his checkered flag. Obviously, you know, he was having fun, and that's really what life's all about, getting out there and having fun. And speaking of fun, look at this golf cart. Isn't that cool? I don't know who brought this thing down, but it's got a stereo system. It's 57 Chevy inspired. It was a Barrett Jackson in 2015, so somebody was driving this thing around. I wonder if they bought it down there. If I'm gonna have a golf cart, if I ever become immobilized as a senior and need to ride around in a cart, it's gonna be something like that. That's the way to get around in style. Look at that thing. It's even got a full dashboard there. How neat is this? We saw this fellow was filling up his gas tank, and what is it? It's an old, looks like it's off of a BSA or something. It's a motorcycle tank. And he's got petcock on and off. The line runs to the engine. A lot of the early tanks were gravity feed. I don't know, it must work for it to pull the fuel down, because it is up higher, I guess, but it's that's creative. It says, just be happy I'm not your kid. They're getting the track sprayed down. Before long, these cars will be hitting the track. And this is kind of an interesting one. It's actually parts from a Massey Harris tractor, and he's done it in the Massey Harris sort of colors, the red and the yellow. It's got the grill off the tractor. It's got the seats off the 2 tractors. And he's made it into a little race car. Well, things should be gearing up soon here. I came over to check out the goods. This fellow has come all the way from Lethbridge, which is a hefty drive. What is it, like 4 hours from Lethbridge here?
5.5.
5.5 hours.
Yep.
But you brought some cool stuff down.
Thanks. Yeah, I cleaned out the shed. Yeah, organized it as best I could. And
well, I mean, you had some neat stuff in your shed. I was looking, where did these pictures come from?
there was an estate sale. A fellow was a Studebaker restorer his whole life, and I went to the estate sale and bought a few Studebaker things. They're sort of spread all over.
Lethbridge Herald. So these were in the newspaper, so old parade pictures. So
I guess so, yeah.
these are probably what, from the 60s, these pictures,
Probably,
I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so neat. Oh, that's your paperweight.
That's my paperweight. I love those old leather handle hammers. I don't know, I got a soft spot for them. I just keep buying them. I don't know if they're worth anything, but...
Well, it's better to have a soft spot for them than a soft spot from them.
Yeah.
That's funny. That almost looks like my old shop.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's your typical sort of style building, but yeah, it looks almost identical to my old store I used to have. When I first saw it, I thought, geez, is it?
That could be.
Oh, I see some of these are stuck together, like you were saying.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. So you'd have to kind of, I don't know, you get some humidity on them or something, they might come apart.
Put your paperweight back on. But I did see these, and these are pretty cool. 59 Studebaker Hawk. Now, I recently picked up a 62, and you said manager. Studebaker pulled the Scotiabank.
I think it'd be fun to just like make a little sticker, or like over the stamp, just get a little sticker made and say like Merry Christmas from me and my family, and just stick it over the stamp and then just send these in the mail.
Well, there can't be too many of these things even left out there.
No.
Huh. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
But I'll have to, I'll definitely grab one of those. You got old invoices and
Yeah,
stuff?
these are mostly vintage clothing from a department store in Lethbridge. There's some old early GWG ones.
Okay, yeah.
Like these are Levi Strauss. There's some Bluebell Wrangler ones.
So you get to know what the wholesale prices were back in the day?
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting, yeah. Like,
So how much was a pair of Levi's wholesale
I don't even know.
back in, what year are these from? 55?
These are 55. Half dozen Levi's was $32.
Wow.
Not much. So,
Couple
yeah,
bucks.
cheap. Yeah.
And I saw you even have some vintage Lee denim.
Yeah, those are actually my buddies. He gave me one box to sell. I said, I'll bring that box here.
Oh, he said to bring some down.
Yeah, so but they're really tiny waist, they're only 27 inch.
Well, 28, but there are ladies who would definitely,
Absolutely.
fit and wear those.
Kid up for the first day of school,
Well, I mean, Matt and his children pretty much only dress in vintage clothing.
right,
so
yeah.
has he been by to have a look at them yet?
No, I don't think he saw them. I was sort of only half set up when he cruised by. So.
Well, the denim they used back then is like almost indestructible. It probably lasts 10 times longer than the new stuff.
Yeah. Even now, like I bought some new repo salvage jeans. They're like new whatever, and like they lasted 6 months and they were done.
Yeah, unfortunately
My wallet wore right through them. And this is sort of cheap, but the old stuff it's like you could go sliding down the sidewalk, no problem.
Oh yeah, to fall off your BMX, or better yet, your banana seat bike.
That's right. Yeah.
With your big seat and Gorilla bars on it.
Or your horse, I guess.
Yeah. You got a violin even, or fiddle.
Yeah, I deal a lot in musical instruments. It's sort of one of my favorite things to buy and sell, but I kind of have a bad habit of getting high on my own supply, and I keep too many guitars, I find. But
well, I can see why Matt asked you to come down, or why you guys figured it out, because you've got I feel like this was just a way for Matt to buy all the stuff he likes.
Yeah. Well, that's how we met, actually. He would always come to Lethbridge Swap Meet, and I'm like, who's the young guy who's dressed well? And like the second year he walked by, I'm like, I gotta get to know this guy. I just ran over and started chatting him up.
Oh yeah.
And we've been pals ever since. So.
Oh yeah, he's right into vintage clothing. But you've got everything in here. Look at this Nintendo controller.
That's sort of the catch-all box. Let's get that bag out of there. That's sort of the miscellaneous catch-all. There's lots of. I was in a garbage, like a dumpster in the Crow's Nest Pass, and they were throwing out all these Scouts badges. So
What happened to the kids? What happened to the Scouts?
I think he was a Scout leader, and they were just leftovers. It was in Statesville, so I think they were just like they were going in the trash.
Well, I guess if they're outdated, they're not doing the jamboree.
A friend's band was on tour, and they were a Scout themed tour, so they all had Scout costumes on, and they would play all these punk songs at every show. And they kind of had mediocre Scout costumes, and we were sitting around on the porch before our show having a beer. I said, I have just a thing for you. I ran in the shed and pulled this out, and we had a full sewing party for like all afternoon.
Stitched all these old patches on?
Patches all over their costumes, having a great time.
Well, that's a great thing about anything old and collectible like this. You can reuse it, recycle.
Yeah.
You saved it from a dumpster, and the people had fun with it. That's great.
The saddest things about the business is how much stuff ends up in the trash. Like, I hear stories daily of people pulling amazing stuff out of the garbage.
Oh gosh, yeah. I've had that
heartbreaker.
before too. Somebody came to my store when I had my shop open, and they said, you got to go to this house. They're throwing everything out. And it was an antique dealer that had passed away.
Oh, no.
And somebody bought the house. It had been hoarded. And they were throwing everything in the dumpster.
Yeah.
Pocket watches and everything just in the dumpster.
That's criminal, yeah.
They weren't even looking. They were just dumping all the bins out. It was crazy.
That's why vintage clothing is one that always ends up in the trash. It's like, if you go to a estate sale, they're like, oh, you got any vintage clothing? Oh no, we threw that out. That's the first thing they toss.
I know. It gets
so
donated
sad.
or thrown out. What a shame.
It is a shame. So No, I feel lucky. Anything I manage to find and save is always a treat. So.
I was noticing your motorcycle brochures here. What were they for? NSU Fox.
How are you folks? Good, how are you? Good, let me know if you have any questions.
And a 68 BSA. Well, there's bound to be somebody with the 68 BSA here at the... That's cool. And it, I mean, that's got to be a...
That's a weirdo bike and a weirdo book, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, actually. I like it.
Yeah, I've met a few of the old biker guys in southern Alberta. And I met one guy who's got a 46 Knucklehead, and a couple guys like that I've kind of got to know. They never want to sell anything cool, but they'll sell like their biker mags and little things.
Little stuff, yeah.
So, but they're just neat guys to meet. They're all getting up there, so.
Well, nice to see you out at the show. You brought some cool stuff down.
Hey, thanks, yeah, man.
Well, I was able to find a couple things for my Studebaker over at that other booth. What a nice guy he was. Came down the way and there's another fella set up. Look at all these old lanterns. Really early car stuff here. Look at this horn. Side mount horn. You got that's the ball for the horn.
Yeah.
It's a really good early parts hanging around here. While they're getting the cars all checked out to start racing, I came down to have a look at Matt's newest acquisition, which is this. I'll have to get the exact year from him, but it's a 1920s Cadillac that at some point around the Depression era had been turned into a tow truck. And it still has its operational tow winch and everything on the back there, which is incredibly hard to find one of these things that's been pretty much untouched and left as it was. But when you look at the interior, this would have been a big, long sedan at one point. And they chopped it down and hand-built this sort of truck cab for the back of it. Interior, not super wide. But then if this was a Cadillac, you would have had more room in the back. Well, I shouldn't say if it was. It definitely was a Cadillac. Look, it's got the flashlight right there on the steering wheel column. So you can take it off and go and see. He's got a little electric fan hooked up in case it gets hot in there. He said it hadn't run in a number of years, but it's here today and it looks like it. He must have got the thing running. Look at that big, massive Cadillac V8 engine in that thing. New rad hose on there. So yeah, looks like he's got it operational. What a cool vehicle. I always have appreciation for stuff like this because it really doesn't survive. Once they get outdated, a lot of times they get scrapped or sold off for parts. The fact somebody kept this thing together is just, it's amazing it still exists. Well, I certainly am not the only car here anymore. It has filled up an awful lot. In fact, I can't even barely find my car. It's way back there. And somehow I've lost my son, Stephen. He's wandering about. But good turnout here. It's always a fun family event, and this year they have about twice the amount of racers as they did last year, so there should be a pretty good show. Everything from rat rods to restored cars to old exotics. And even food trucks. Just a fun day. You know, as I'm sitting here waiting for the races to start, I saw a truck drive by with a BSA motorcycle in the back of it. And just earlier today, from the booth right behind my car, I happened to pick up these Studebaker Hawk sort of sales brochures, and he sold me this BSA manual. Now that I have a BSA, I would be a nice guy if I were just to go gift this to that fellow, and I think I'm going to be a nice guy today and give this to him because I saw the BSA pull in on the bike. He'd probably appreciate that. Well, I don't know what the odds of that happening are, but this fellow pulled in with this truck and he happened to have a 1968 BSA in the back of it. So that's exactly the year of the manual. So I delivered it to him, and he probably thinks I'm a bit of a crazy person, but there you go. I don't need the manual, and for 10 bucks you can make somebody's day. Why not? Now I saw this bike pull in earlier. He's got it labeled as the Frankenstein. Is this your bike, sir?
Yeah,
Wow, and it's steam powered.
yeah, it is.
What an amazing apparatus you've got here. So it runs off the propane tank.
Propane tank, fuel, burners down here in the front,
Okay, yeah, burner up front.
boiler.
Yep.
This is my whistle.
You got the whistle even.
This is the steam whistle. This is the refoul, tight blast.
Ah, that's amazing.
On this side I've got the engine.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there's the engine there. What an amazing bit of ingenuity.
This is the throttle.
Is that your kill switch there?
No, the electricals haven't hooked up.
Oh, okay.
There's no electric on it.
Wow, so what possessed a person to build a steam-powered bike?
Why not?
Why not? Amazing. They're just finishing up the time trials. The cars are whipping around the track. See somebody's green helmet on their car. This fella just finished a pretty quick lap. He might be one of the faster cars today, number 17. We'll have to keep an eye on him. Any predictions, Steven, on which car is going to be the fastest?
I think number 17 is the fastest.
You think so?
Well, I might be wrong, but that's my prediction.
Okay, Steven predicts number 17. I don't have a prediction yet. I know it's not this car that's coming around. He's having fun, but it's a little on the slower side. I guess, you know, it probably feels like 100 miles an hour. You're basically on a wagon. Now the rumble of many motorcycles as the Flat Track Club gets out on the track to warm up. It's like a symphony of octane. It's a Harley Davidson coming around the track right now. Get a little trackside action as these guys zip on by. Here comes the first bike around the track. Oh yeah, the 48 to the lead. Oh, 56 is taking the lead. I hear a race car coming around the track. There it goes. Green is in the lead. They're just raking the track down, getting it ready. The guys are gonna get lined up and start racing moments away here. And they got live music happening over there. They're actually really quite good. Saxophones and keyboards and drums, the whole deal. While the band is rocking right next to us by the stage here, the Frankenstein bike has been started. You can hear the sort of thunderous roar of the water coming to a boil. You have to be an adventurous spirit to ride with a propane tank strapped right behind your back. Like a little locomotive. Of all the wild things you wouldn't expect to see, that's one of them. always a fun trip down here at the Model T races in Bruderheim, Alberta. Matt does a great job putting the show together. If you haven't checked out their YouTube channel, check out Strong's Garage on YouTube. And heck, come on out. These people all did. It's a great time. Thanks for watching again today, guys. We'll see y'all soon. And as always, bye for now.